And we're live.
Hey,
Hi. Hello.
I'm gonna be honest, this is gonna be a rough episode.
Why is that?
I've this morning I got 3 vaccines. So
Oh,
I bought
okay.
my body is basically a time bomb for when it like shuts down.
Jesus. Well, that's dark, but okay. Yeah.
So we'll
Yeah.
see how it goes. I can already feel like the fatigue and like the aches really increasing.
Sure. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how have you been?
I've been okay, all things considered. What were the vaccines for? Like, what were you had three? You said.
Yeah, the flu, the new flu one, the updated COVID one, and then I got HPV.
Gotcha. Okay. Went with the
Which I'm like,
this
hey,
pharmacist
give me
special.
everything.
Yeah. Give
The
me
more
whatever you
vaccines
got.
I get, the better. Fill me up.
Got any more in the back you can pump in me? Like I'm here.
Yeah,
Why
like
not?
why not? Exactly. I'm gonna feel shitty. I might as well do it all at once.
Sure.
What have you been up to this week?
Um, Nothing special this week.
You
Nothing
were
crazy.
saying you weren't feeling this season of Only Murders in the Building.
Uh, no, I think parts of it are slow. I think it's a good setup, but it's a bit slow.
Okay, I'm all caught up at the moment.
I
I've
haven't
liked
seen the
all of it
last one.
except this last episode was pretty goofy. A little
Okay,
too goofy for me.
okay. I haven't seen this last one. The intro to this season is very good, and like I don't know, they do some weird things with some returning characters here and there. It's been fun, but no, like honestly, none of it's hit as hard as the first season though, and probably never will. That first season was just so tight and good.
I mean, that's most things. I
Most
feel like.
shows, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. And now that Agatha All Along is out, I guess I'm gonna have to watch that trash fire at some point. We'll
I want
see.
to watch that. And tomorrow, The Penguin is out.
Okay, sure.
So I want to start. And I've been hearing really good things about that one. And then this weekend, I'm seeing Transformers 1, which apparently is just out of nowhere incredible.
Really? Huh.
That's what people are saying. Like, it's so good, which everyone's shocked.
I not expecting that.
Yeah, no
Okay,
one was. So
interesting.
I'm very curious.
Sure. Interesting.
Next weekend, though, Wild Robot. Hell yeah, let's go. And that's getting great reviews.
Sure. Yeah.
So can't wait for that.
Yeah. A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff to watch.
John's not here this week. He said he was busy with some company visiting, but he expressed he wanted us to relay the message. Oh crap, it's in the other chat. He finished Astro Bot and his fave cameo was Rez.
Sure. Drew, he
Um,
did say this.
yeah, so with that, why don't we just start talking about some video games? Because this is the top down perspective for September 19th. I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
And Paul, what have you been playing?
So the thing this week was I wrapped up Space Marine 2. Um,
Okay.
that game does the thing that Space Marine 1 does, where it gets wildly more interesting with story and stuff going on in the latter half, and like just big moments. Final boss is a little meh to me. I don't know. That game is very, very good. Very, very good. But I still like the first. I like just the simplicity of the first one a bit more still for what
Did
those
you ever
games
get
are.
around to getting a group together like you
I
felt it was intended?
So I have to do that because the way it's set up is that you play through the main campaign stuff as like three characters. Like you play as the main character, and then you can have two AI companions or people play along with you. But
Yeah.
then there's operations, which are while you're doing certain things in the campaign, there's other like fire teams doing other things in different parts, and you play those with the co-op thing as they intend, where it's kind of a whole different thing. You play like three just basic all around Space Marines in the campaign. In the operations, you kind of choose what type of class you want. There's like a tank class, an assassin class, a sniper, and that sort of thing. And it's more like you have to work together, and actually get through some stuff, and that seems infinitely more exciting to me. So I do still want to do that, but there's so many this last like week, aka yesterday, there 2 games came out that I wanted to play, and then like a game came out a day or two before that. There's like 3 games out in the last 48 hours that I've been.
There was a few this week for me
Yeah,
too. Prince of Persia: Lost Crown's story DLC
the
launched.
DLC. Yep,
I'm excited for that. UFO 50.
was yesterday, along with Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, which I also have been playing yesterday.
Dead Rising. Okay, well, let's hear about Dead Rising then.
That game is the exact same game. Well, kind of. So like it's obviously updated with some quality of life changes, but as somebody who last played Dead Rising 18 years ago when it came out in 2006, I don't know what a lot of those updates are. So to me, it's like revisiting that game for the first time again.
Yeah, I can
In
tell you some of them
2024.
just from what I've been hearing from like podcasts. There's now save files.
Sure. I mean, yes. So I know like what some of them are too, but they're basic quality of life things that I would have just assumed that was there before, but it wasn't. For example, if you are holding a two-handed weapon, like the big machine gun that you can get off of the dipshits that are riding around in the park, or like a two-handed chainsaw, you used to drop whatever you had in your hand before because that you couldn't hold it, and that is gone now. Like that just kind of goes on the like another slot or whatever, or when you're holding the hand of a survivor to kind of lead them, you used to drop what was in your hand to do it, and that doesn't happen anymore. Like all these little quality of life things that's like, yeah, of course you shouldn't drop your weapon to hold their hand because this is a video game, this isn't real life. Those sort of updates are there. I'm
Also, here the
Mhm.
leveling is a lot easier. Like
It's
they
incredibly
made it,
quick, so
yeah,
fast. Yeah,
which is
which
kind
is
of odd
great.
because it's making a lot of people kind of realize how short this game actually is. Because
Yeah, it's
this
very
game
short.
came out and it's kind of like it was kind of a proto roguelike
Yeah, kind
almost
of.
of what um as you could you were timed, and if you didn't finish things quick enough, you just could not beat the game. But when you restarted, you have all of your like experience and stuff, so you would go through that next chunk faster.
Yeah.
um
You know what's interesting is I was playing it and like streaming it, and there's a few people that like just had never seen that game. So a quick like if
like
you don't,
they've never seen the franchise or the first one.
I don't know. I'm guessing the first one specifically, but like I'm sure
Okay.
they heard of the franchise, but they never seen it. So maybe like a quick primer. Dead Rising is a game where you're stuck in a shopping mall for 72 in-game hours to 3 days, and in that time there's like a main story that's happening that you like get little missions for or whatever, but there's also a bunch of other side stuff happening, and there is stuff you can miss. There's survivors that can die or whatever, so there is like this replayability factor of
Yeah, because there's like an in-game clock and
yeah,
things overlap, so you can't do everything in one playthrough.
right, unless you're like one of these speedrunning gods, and even then I think there's some things you literally can't do because of the way they overlap. So you're right,
Yeah.
I don't think you can 100% it without doing specific things to hack it or like exploit something. It's cool though, like it's cool being back into that game. It's updated in a way that it's the way you want a remaster, where you get that feeling of playing the game again like in modern day, and but like it's that same game or whatever, where you look at the old one and you're like, holy shit, this like does look way better, or they did change a few of these key
That was a
things.
super early 360 game.
Yep.
That was before they kind of realized what to do with achievement points and stuff, because everything in that game was 20 points, no matter how hard or easy it was. They just divided everything by
Yep.
50.
Yep.
How's the new voice actor for Frank?
So they added voices for everything and everybody, including all the small not characters, where the survivors or whatever, and they've added voice lines for them. So I the new voice actor for Frank is very good. The voices for all of them that have been updated are very good. they've added some lines where like the survivors will point things out to you that maybe like would be a little obfuscated unless you knew or whatever. They'll be like, "Hey, check that out" or something when you're like
A weapon
just
or something?
yeah, or like little
Okay.
tips or whatever. Like it's cool. They added a lot of really nice quality of life things to it. Um, the zombies, the cop zombies that have guns on them now shoot at you randomly because I don't know. That's a cool
Like a
little
cop.
feature.
Yep, got it. No, I've been following the New York news. I
Yeah,
understand.
I didn't want to go there. But, like yeah, because originally like you could get guns off of some of the cop zombies, but most of them just had like batons or whatever. The ones with guns in this will actually like fire at you and kind of indicate maybe that you should, if you want a gun or pistol, you go to them. Also, it just adds a little more flavor to like there. Yeah, everything about this game that they added is just the a good update with the engine and a good amount of flavor for that world. So it's cool. It's very very good.
Where did you stop with Dead Rising? Because I fell off after 2, which I also feel is when the game got a lot less interesting because they got rid of like the clock stuff.
Yeah, so I played one back then, Case Zero, and I played two, but I didn't even finish two. I liked two. It just I dropped off it's at some point. Don't know why. I tried a bit of three and I kind of hated it, or four. I don't remember what it was, but it was just bland. So
Yeah, that's what they westernized it. I think they moved the development studio to whatever somewhere in Vancouver actually, wasn't it?
sure, yeah, maybe.
I
I
think it
don't know.
was. Yeah. Um,
So it would
and they
it would have
kind
been
of
around
like,
three or four. Yeah,
yeah, and that's because that's when they were like, let's take all the like interesting stuff off of this
yeah.
and just make it like an action game where you mow down as many zombies as you can. And this is actually the release timing of this is kind of fun because it's like a week after Lollipop Chainsaw, which the
Which was
clips I've been
terrible.
seeing of that seems like it's an absolute dumpster fire.
It is because they fucked up a bunch of stuff. It runs poor. Like it's one of those things that they tried to do a cash grab and they fucked it up. So now people are mad. Basically, they did it wrong. Like it runs
Yep.
worse. So what
Yeah.
the fuck?
It's insane. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really too bad because I was gonna pick that one up too, but then after seeing a few people talk about it, I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm not doing that.
Right.
I highly recommend people check out DRDR, Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster. It's very
I have to
good.
assume this is them kind of testing the waters to see if there's interest in Dead Rising.
Maybe.
Because 4 was quite a while ago.
Yeah, when was 4?
I mean, it was definitely last gen. I think it might have even been kind of early last gen.
It was 2016, so yeah, 8 years
Yeah,
ago.
oh, so 8 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if they ever were to do a 5, would they make it like 1 and 2, or would they make it like 3 and 4?
Sure. Yeah. Wasn't the big thing with 4 like it's fun because you can play with your friends and like that's kind of it. That was like the big thing, right? You would play a
Was there
co-op.
co-op? I don't remember. I don't think I played much of 4. 3. I've played a very tiny bit of 3 or 4. I can't remember. I want to say one of them was on Game Pass at one point. And I played like a little bit.
Right. Yeah,
But
I'm the same way. I played a little bit of 3 or 4. I can't remember. I think it was 3 because looking at images of 4, I don't remember playing in like the town here. So I don't know. Hard to
yeah,
remember.
and what does 4 look like? Wasn't there a Christmas thing recent?
That was 4. Frank's Big Package or whatever.
Okay. I feel like I played that.
Okay.
Yeah, I played some of 4.
Okay. Sure. I remember I was wanting to play 4 because I heard it was co-op and I was like, hey, maybe like me and a buddy could play a bit of it, but
No, and I'm sure that's probably exactly what I did, and that's why
yeah.
I was playing it. But man, I could not.
And it's kind of not fair because anything that you play with a buddy is usually like 10 times better than it should be immediately because you're just hanging out with a friend.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than if I played it solo, but I'm still not gonna say it's better than 1 or 2.
No,
I
sure.
I really like 2. 2 is probably my favorite one. That was like a real sweet spot for me. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, two's
especially
good.
the case 0 2 kind of thing. That was just fun.
Yeah, especially because like that, it was just such a nice little like 2 to 4 hour package, and like,
Yeah.
yeah, good pacing. Case West was kind of a fun way to play two as well. Like, yeah, two was a good time.
Yeah, I
Uh,
didn't play Case West, but I do remember that. Yeah.
two was a good time, and now revisiting one this way is definitely the definitive way I think to visit it. It's just that game
True.
again in this era. It's awesome.
Nice.
Yep.
That's great.
Yeah, I can't wait to play more.
Anything else?
Uh, no, I wanted to play Plucky Squire and UFO 50, but they're all coming out like this week.
Yeah, Plucky Squire. I'm also very excited for, but I'm playing a bunch of stuff this week.
It's
Stuff
rough.
some I can't even talk about, and I already have a pretty big list of games. But
It's rough. Yeah, but no, that's been it for me.
all right, I finished Astro Bot, everything,
Nice.
got the platinum. That's done. That last level sucked. Took a while, but I did it.
The like challenge level or whatever.
Yeah, to get the last bot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took a bit for sure. I definitely had to like look up a video just to be like, okay, I need to know like what I'm about to deal with, because every time I get a little bit further, I die pretty quick because it's like new, and it's like I don't want to keep
Oh, sure.
just inching my way forward. I want to like kind of see what I'm gonna about to run into.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Some of the things I ask you to do are fucked up. Like for how easy that game is up until that level, it's like, what the fuck? All right.
yeah, well, that's what it should be, right? So
Oh yeah, no, I loved it. I love that final level.
yeah. Okay, I can finally talk about Dragon Age: The Veilguard. I went and played this a couple weeks ago over at EA, and then the embargo went up this morning. So I've put maybe close to 6 hours or so into that game.
Okay.
Um, and as a result, it is the most anticipated game coming out in 2024, like still in this fall
Sure.
for
Yeah.
me.
Nice.
That game is so good.
I don't really know what to ask about it specifically because I've seen the video of the combat. The combat looks very good.
Combat's great.
Um, would you have gotten enough like character stuff to like how's the writing in it? I guess in the
I think
six
the writing's
hours.
good. Yeah, this had a, we got to do the character creator, so I got to see all that, and then there was like 5 sections we got to play, and they were kind of at different points in the game, like
Mm.
many hours apart. So I got to see like a pretty good perspective of that game, not just like the beginning and such. I think the characters are good. There are so Solus is the big antagonist,
Mm-hmm.
and you get to do these like Solus backstory missions where you like you get these, it's like a, I don't know, a vision or a dream sequence kind of thing where you find out like his past and stuff and what turned him evil. So that's some pretty good character moments. And then you and all of your companions are like sitting around a table discussing what they just witnessed. I think if you are a fan of Mass Effect, you are
Mm-hmm.
absolutely going to love this. There is so much like leaning on the companions. There are companion quests. You can romance your companions. Like
Oh, it's
there's a lot
yeah.
of Mass Effect in here.
Nice. Sure. That makes
There's a
sense.
hub area you come back to each time, just like the Normandy. There will be a little pop up on the map saying this person wants to talk to you now. So you run over there and chat with your companion. There's a skeleton dude, which I forget his name, but when I went, he's not a companion, but he's just some NPC in the area. And when I hung out with him, he played rock paper scissors with me, and I'm looking forward to vibing with him again. So that
Okay.
was cool.
Sure.
Um, yeah, and then the combat's really good. I went in there thinking, okay, I'll just play mage for this demo. I never play mage.
Mm.
So I'll just try that, and then when I play my real game, I'll pick like rogue or warrior like I'm used to.
Right.
I think I'm gonna play mage for this whole game. I had so
Okay.
much fun with mage. So obviously you can shoot spells from afar, but there's a second loadout you get called Orb and Dagger. There's this orb following you around, and it'll shoot out the spells when you want, but you can also just go in and stab people. So you get a good melee attack in there too, and it's kind of a good combo. The rogue was super fun though because they're really fast. I'm gonna have to like really decide, am I gonna do rogue or um, or mage. Warrior I wasn't super into, mainly because the one that I played was very focused on like having a really big shield, so it was a lot of defense tactics they had. I also only played as them once. Every time there was like a new section of us to play, I would switch up who I'm playing.
Hmm.
And the one time I picked warrior was a boss fight, and it was just like, oh, I have to like learn this new class
Yeah.
while fighting a huge dragon, like, and it was like the one time I did die. Um, but yeah, other than that, like the parry feels great. The execution moves are real cool. You can so it has the weapon wheel, like Mass Effect. You know, you hold down like right bumper, time basically slows down, and then you can like point. Okay, this character I want you to shoot lightning at them, and you I want you to use your fireball attack at them. But when you select one of them, it'll like if you have the right skills learned or set, it'll be like, hey, if you select this attack, these two will combo off each other.
Hmm.
And it's like, oh, well, I'm going to do that one instead. And then they'll like do a super combo attack on that enemy instead of just like individually firing off. So that was cool too. Um, yeah, no, I'm very excited. I also think it looks fantastic. Obviously it's not hyper realistic, but it is pretty realistic. But everything's also fantasy, so it's kind of like a realistic cartoony, like the eyes are clearly bigger than they should be. The colors are a lot more saturated than they should be, and it just
Right.
looked so nice. Like there was this forest area that just had this like rainbow shimmery fog throughout the whole thing. Like it is a really good looking game. I am super from someone who's like Dragon Age has been pretty off to the side for me. I am
Hmm.
so looking forward to this thing.
Cool. Yeah. I'm looking forward to getting back into Dragon Age. I love those games. Ever since Mass Effect accidentally took kind of a shit in 3 and on story, like writing wise, I've been kind of hoping that maybe they bring it back with Mass Effect, because I really fell in love with Origins, or not Mass Effect, with Dragon Age. I fell in love with Origins a long time ago. I was reading the books, like I was really into that world. And then unfortunately 2 also kind of took a dump on that series for me a
People
little
love
bit.
Inquisition though.
Inquisition is a beautiful mess in a lot of good ways. This looks fun though, interesting to me from the video I've seen.
I did try going back to Inquisition when I did the hands-off preview back at Summer Game Fest
Yeah,
and it wasn't clicking with me, especially the combat.
yeah.
Um
I like slower, more methodical combat, and the stuff you're describing is actually kind of feels more like a kind of like a revitalized way that you play that original game, where like you
so
have
this
the.
is not slow combat.
No, I
If
know.
anything, this is faster. This is just a character action game.
Right. So the original Origins, you would set them up so that like your characters would combo off each other with tactics. There was like a whole menu you could go in and be like, when this does this, do this sort of thing. So you could like set them up to do some real cool shit. And this sounds kind of like a streamlined version of you doing that on the fly, which sounds awesome to me.
Yeah, a much lighter version. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, it's cool.
But
I'm looking
it's
forward to
cool.
it.
I'm looking forward. That's Halloween that comes out.
Yep. That's soon ish. They don't
It'll
stop.
be here sooner than you expect, that's for sure.
Yeah. They don't stop.
I also started up Star Wars Outlaws. I'm pretty early.
Hmm.
Have you played any of this?
I installed it and then uninstalled it because I had other things
Oh,
that I was getting to. Like I needed the
okay.
space for some of this other stuff.
So I've maybe put actually I think there was a in-game timer, but I can't remember. I probably put maybe 3-ish hours into it. For those who have played it, I did the very first mission where you actually gain some rank with one of the actions.
Okay. Hmm.
You do this like stealth mission. The whole game is pretty much stealth missions.
Yeah.
Um, and you steal some information, but then you also find out that someone's going to double cross someone, and you basically get to choose like, do I want to tell this faction or that faction that someone's double crossing, and you kind of gain favor with one of them. And I just went with like pretty much the default, which was the Crimson Dawn. I don't even remember
Hmm.
what the other faction is. It's not the Huts. It's whatever that third one is, which I do not remember the name of. But
Hmm. How do you feel about
this
it?
game, this game, I'm just kind of, I'm kind of here or there with it. Like
Yeah.
I like the gameplay, and I think I'm playing the like more streamlined version because I know they patched it and toned down some of the harshness of the stealth on the early game. which sounds good because that sounded very frustrating from a lot of people. But from like a visual standpoint, it's like, are you a named character? Okay, you look good. Are you anyone else in this world? Which is like, 80, 90% of these people, you don't look good. Like it kind of makes me think of like,
Sure.
when you see like the Simpsons movie or the Bob's Burgers movie where it's like, oh, you got an extra layer of shading. I see how
Yeah.
that goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of
Sure.
feels like that where it's like, okay, they did an extra pass on like Kay, the protagonist and everyone else. You're just kind of like a smudge for a face with some eyes there. They didn't really worry too much about your texture.
Yeah. I wonder how much of that is like also weird limitations depending on what they were wanting to do, or just because Space Marine 2, for how much like I think that game is incredible looking, like human faces just kind of suck it with 3D modeling sometimes, even though everything else looks
Well,
great.
I don't know. I mean, in the Star Wars, I don't know how many humans I'm even meeting. These are all like
Sure.
weird alien
But
lizard men or
but all
whatever.
the aliens look great, right? Because of course they do. Like
No, no, that's what I'm saying is if it's
even the
not a
alien
named
guys.
character, they just kind of look like,
Oh,
oh, you
interesting.
needed an extra pass. Like they're clearly saving some resources by not modeling you as in
Like
depth
fully.
as,
Yeah.
these other three characters in this bar.
Running at 15 frames a second in the background when you're not looking directly at them, sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. I'm playing on Xbox. There are 3 graphics modes and I'm doing the 40 frames per second one, which is kind of like a middle ground between the two. That's I really like it when games do that. I feel like that's a nice little best of both worlds kind of. I need to go watch the Digital Foundry video, um, and just kind of see like how they broke things down, what they recommended, and all that stuff. I
Sure.
I do feel like this would be a great game to play on a PS5 Pro. I would like it to run a little bit better, and I would like it to look a little bit better.
Sure. Yeah. Understandable.
Yeah, so I'll be playing some more of that for sure. I'm pretty early on.
Nice.
Let's do some news. All right. We got 3D model mock-ups of maybe the Switch 2. Are you familiar with this?
Not at all. I'm actually looking at it for the first time right now.
Okay, so the Switch is like a hybrid console from Nintendo. They
Okay.
used to make trading cards, but now they make game console.
Wait. They don't still make trading cards?
They sometimes do. You have to scan them on like an e-reader, and
Oh,
then you
yeah.
get like a fun gift if you're playing Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so this is pretty much rumored. None of this is confirmed, but it just seems to be like collaborated by enough sources that Wario 64 is reporting on it. So good
Sure.
enough for me.
Yeah, sure.
So we got some like I said, they're basically just 3D renders of what it could look like. It just looks like a Switch.
It really does look just
It
like a
really just
Switch.
looks. I guess these images first came off of some Chinese social network. If you
Okay.
click into the Video Games Chronicle article on this tweet, you'll see even more photos. Um, and it is lining up with some of the things that had been leaked before. 8-inch screen. That screen is larger. 2 USB-C ports, one on the top this time, as well as the one on the bottom, which is kind of interesting, as well as an extra button on the right Joy-Con that has a C on it.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And then if you're also looking at the Joy-Con ones, there's no more track, which kind of
Right.
aligns with the whole magnetic attachment thing. So are these like little kind of divots, these bumps we're looking at, are those the magnets of some in some capacity?
Right. Hmm. Interesting.
And then one of these images kind of shows like 2 screens. So a lot of people are wondering, okay, is that the original Switch down below? Is this the new size of the new one? It is substantially larger.
Yeah. Yeah, because the one up top also doesn't have the opening at the top where a track would lay in inlay.
With where a Joy-Con would slide in. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, we kind of get a render of like the back, which that's an original Switch on the bottom. It's not, and then the top one has the whole Y kickstand that the OLED model has.
Right. Interesting.
So it's looking like more closer to probably like a Steam Deck size.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I'm really curious, what would you do with a top USB-C port? Like, I can't imagine. I'm assuming you can charge it off both, 'cause why not? Is it
Yeah.
but I'd have to assume it can't just be there for, like, we gave them the option if they wanted the cable to run this way instead.
Maybe for
That just seems
headsets.
like not
Like
worth putting a whole
I have
port
USB-C
there.
headsets like at work or whatever. So maybe they're going with some or it's proprietary stuff. I have no idea.
Yeah. I have
Weird.
no idea either.
Weird. It would make sense if you wanted to charge it from the top and it was on the desk or something, because wasn't that like one of the big contentions? You guys put
Like,
the
if you were in,
only
like,
charging
tabletop
port.
mode, you mean?
Yeah.
Where it's tilted I mean, I guess. I would love I don't even know if they were tracking this, like, what percentage of people used tabletop mode as their primary form of using the Switch?
It has it can't even be 1%. Like
Like,
for
I'll ask you,
primary,
we'll just do a quick little poll here. What percentage of your Switch use has been tabletop mode?
it has to be
Is it
less than
higher than
1%.
1%?
No, it has to be less.
Yeah.
I would assume.
Yeah, I think so too.
Let's round up and say 1%.
1% of it.
Yeah.
Good for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
The last thing I'll say is that those so they have the two buttons, the two shoulder buttons, and then like an extra one on the side. I'm assuming that's to release the magnet. I'm assuming they aren't making three shoulder buttons now, because that looks like miserable placement.
Sure.
To
No,
like
that makes
claw
sense.
your thumb or middle finger around.
Yeah. That would make sense. A release of some sort.
Yeah, that's my guess. And then yeah, the C button. Like, what would that even be? That extra one on the right one.
Yeah, I don't know. One of those like small square ones.
Because the ones that are repeats, like on the left, I believe is the capture button, and then the right circular is the home button.
Home
Those might be
button.
swapped, but those are the two functions. And then yeah, we have this extra one now. So who knows?
Yeah. Don't know. Kind of interesting though.
I wonder if it's just another capture button. And you, in case
Mm,
you were playing like with just the Joy-Con, but well, I don't know. Then the other one doesn't have the home button. I have no idea. Who knows, man?
it's weird.
Yeah, we might have seen the Switch too. There are rumors that we might get the announcement early next month.
Well,
So we'll see.
we'll have to see.
All right, speaking of Nintendo, they are suing Palworld.
Yeah, so this is they finally pushed this through after the threats or whatever.
Kind of surprised how long this took. Palworld was huge in January. It was
Yeah,
really earlier this year, right?
very early. Yep.
So they're basically coming at Palworld for possible infringement, for a number of things. Quote here is, we filed the lawsuit at the timing after careful investigation of the content that is subject of this lawsuit. We will refrain from commenting, blah, 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 blah.
Mm,
And the company that does Palworld, I guess, is Pocket Pair. I didn't think I knew that.
Pocket pair. Okay.
Palworld developer Pocket Pair. I'm surprised I didn't know what the developer's name was. And then, yeah, Pocket Pair has basically said, "Yeah, we're starting this thing." I wanted to bring people's attention to this one interview on from 404 Media. I think this is a pretty good read. They were interviewing an analyst who basically was breaking down kind of what a lot of this means, what they think, how it'll go, and just some interesting quotes that came out of here. Let me see if I can find them. Let's see. Maybe I put the tweet. Okay, one of them was, they basically said Nintendo has never lost a lawsuit that they have initiated. Um, and just to show like how like stringent they get, they there was this one quote: when the character is hidden behind the tree. This isn't specific to Palworld. This is just an example of stuff that Nintendo has. The game forms a shadow, so you kind of get a sense of where the character is, even though you
Mhm.
don't see the character clearly. Nintendo has a patent on that. So they'll come after you for stuff like that. Another one was, there's an example in this interview where they went after this massively popular Japanese mobile game, And one of the reasons was that Nintendo owns the patent on when you put your system to sleep. So in this example, a mobile, like the phone, and then you turn the phone back on, you'll reopen the screen and there's a little message saying, do you want to continue playing? That Nintendo has a patent on. And they got this game like shut down that had like 20 million
The
users
White
and
Cat
whatnot.
Project.
Yeah, that was the title. Yeah, no one knew it outside of Japan, but I guess it was massive in Japan. So people are super interested in kind of hearing a bit more about the nitty gritty of how Nintendo has dealt with these things in the past. I would definitely recommend checking out this. The article is titled "Cold Blooded Business: Nintendo is patent trolling Palworld because it got too big."
Yeah.
Over at 404media.co.
Yeah, this is fucking disgusting. I hate everything about this.
I don't think Palworld's gonna win.
Yeah, I mean, probably not. if Nintendo's got away with some of this other shit that is mentioned in here, like probably not.
Well, I mean, I guess it's technically not saying they got away with it because they're winning legally, like.
Yeah.
So it is their legal right to do this, and they are proving that they are being wronged. But just hearing that Nintendo has never lost one of these that they have initiated themselves was like, oh shit. It's like Palworld's massive.
Yeah.
And I bet Microsoft is like, damn it, because that was such a big win for them having it on Game Pass.
Yeah.
They're just
very
like,
much.
oh shit, are we just about to like watch this game get like sued into oblivion? Guess we'll see.
Yep.
All right, speaking of the new Switch, we got the first game technically announced for the Switch 2.
Sick.
My Time at Evershine, a
Oh
follow-up
yeah. Classic
to My
Nintendo
Time
game.
at Porsche. So
Yeah.
and My Time at Sandrock, the My Time series. This is by Pathia Games. They put out a press release basically for a Kickstarter campaign that is coming at the end of September. So the Kickstarter campaign is not live, but in the press release they mention it will be coming to the Nintendo Switch's successor console, and I believe this is the first time a studio has said that. So we're looking, I guess, technically at the first Switch 2 announced title.
Sick. The first announced Switch 2 title is a Kickstarter game that's not even out yet.
Yeah, like I'm sure Nintendo is probably like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
What are you doing? You can't just say shit like that.
Yeah,
Especially Nintendo,
that's
who's like
true.
very manicured about how they present all their stuff. Like I would have to assume they probably have like I bet there's probably tons of games in development for the Switch 2 right now, right?
Of course, yeah.
There's no way Ubisoft doesn't have at least 3 games in the pipeline for the Switch 2 right now.
Or Nintendo themselves.
Like, absolutely, yeah. But I'm just saying from other parties,
people,
from third parties.
yeah.
I'm sure Nintendo is very locked down of like, you can't talk about it, you can't mention this game is coming, and then this small indie game just says this.
Crazy.
So
I mean, yeah, classic My Time at Evershine. That is My Time series is what I think about when I think Nintendo. First thing, so this makes sense.
When I think breaking new ground, forward thinking, they'll cross any line you put in front of them. I think about the My Time games.
Yep, exactly. Weird. So weird.
They probably just didn't realize that they shouldn't have done this, but also like, who cares?
Yeah,
like,
no.
I feel like at this point in how late the Switch is, if you're making a game for the Switch, you're also going to make it for the Switch too.
Yeah.
All right. So, like, who wouldn't? No one's gonna be like, put it on more stuff. Nah, I'm good.
Oh, that's funny. My Time at Evershine.
It reminded me when like the first Xbox 360 game announced was Dark Sector. that game with the glaive, and it was just like, okay, all right, sure.
The ironic thing is that I only played that when it was on PS3. I played it on PS3. I didn't play it originally on.
You played the first ever Xbox 360 game on the PlayStation 3. How could you?
Yeah. That game was okay.
That game's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we talked a little bit about Flappy Bird coming back last week.
Yeah.
Then it was revealed that it's a weird crypto NFT nonsense machine.
This update is ridiculous. Yeah.
We also I think all three of us were just like, okay, whatever. I don't think I'm gonna play any of it.
I mean, I didn't look into it at all because I don't give a shit. But then,
Well,
yeah,
this was kind of developing news as this week went on. So when we talked about it, we hadn't heard about any of this stuff.
right,
I was seeing a lot of people like asking like the Flappy Bird Twitter account, like, "Hey, what's going on with the original creator? Why aren't you answering questions about the original creator? What are you hiding?"
yeah,
Um, People did some digging into this company, and what it turns out, the original creator is not about it, is not involved at all. That creator's name is Dong Win, and for those who don't know, he got out of doing Flappy Bird because it got so addictive. It was kind of ruining his life because he didn't like what it was like. So many people were playing it so much and getting addicted to it that he was just like, I don't want any of this. He was getting harassed over it. So he just yanked it and was like, I'm out. The end. Um, so people actually reached out to him and he had a tweet that said, "No, I have no related with their game. I did not sell anything. I also don't support crypto." And that part comes from a lot of people did some background searching on what the company who is bringing Flappy Bird back is, and turns out they're like a big Web3 crypto company. Now that I don't think it's clear if Flappy Bird has those ties in there at the moment, but
it
just
will.
based on what this company like does, like they're one of like the leading crypto game companies at the moment. It wouldn't be surprising, and it does turn out like they even eventually made a tweet about how things happened. The trademark just lapsed,
Yeah,
so they just bought it.
yes, yeah,
That's pretty much the end of it. They didn't reach out to this guy. He didn't sell it and make any money off of it. He just didn't renew the trademark. So the Flappy Bird company or the Flappy Bird Foundation, sorry,
yeah.
just bought it. You just know someone was probably just sitting there ready to hit the button. Just like, here we go. 10 minutes, 2 minutes, and go.
Well, I mean, they obviously had a bot that did it, like
Yeah,
because
sure.
yeah,
Well, yeah, whatever.
yeah. No, I mean, and honestly, like maybe this is a hot take. I don't care. Like if he didn't re-register his own trademark or whatever, I don't care that they bought it. It is weirdly obfuscative though of what they're doing, because like even on here where like Flappy Bird's coming back. Oh yeah, cool. All right, next. Like, but there will probably be people that they see Flappy Bird and they will get sucked into whatever the fuck they're doing with it.
Oh,
I
sure.
would
They won't
assume.
even know. I mean, that's, yeah, of course. But I mean, those people aren't listening to a video game podcast.
Yeah, because they don't care. Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're listening to a true crime podcast while playing the new Flappy Bird and helping mine crypto, maybe.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I'm thinking it probably is, right?
Yeah.
It's yeah, for sure.
All right. In some pretty cool news, PlayStation now announced the 30th anniversary collection this morning. I think these look awesome.
This is the gray, yeah, the classic color scheme and stuff for PlayStation.
Classic color scheme. So they announced this. There's going to be a Pro. There's going to be a standard, like the Slim PS5. DualSense, the DualSense Edge, even the Portal is getting a gray version. It's the PS. It's the original PlayStation gray. It's got the colored face pads. There's like textured grooves. So the embargo on this is weird. I can say I have seen these in
Yep.
person.
Okay. Yep.
Can't say where.
That
I can't say
the
how.
fact that I can't say where, that's really shady.
It's not. I'm just, that's part of the embargo. Is I just
No,
cannot
I
say
know.
where or how I saw these, but I can say that I have seen them. They look so nice in person. The Pro in the like thins or whatever. So they're only making like 12,000 or something of these. So you get like a number on yours to know which of those you get, and that's like
Sure.
in there, which is pretty cool. Um, but in my opinion, the best part. Do you have the page loaded up?
I do.
Okay, I want you to scroll down to the second slideshow. So there's the video, one slideshow, and then a second one.
Mhm.
I want you to go over to the right a few times. That USB-C cable is
It's
the
pretty
best thing.
it's pretty great. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can you paint us a picture of what you're looking at?
It's the classic like end cap for plugging in a PlayStation controller, if you know what that looks like. The like wider gray thing with
Yeah.
the like arrow, the triangle arrow.
But it's a USB-C port. It's
Yeah.
USB-C on both sides, but like that part would go into the PlayStation 5. You would put your port, the
Yeah.
regular port, into the controller. That's just great. That's just awesome.
It's very cool. I want the controller. Controller's
The
good.
standard controller.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're good looking.
These are coming out in November. The pre-orders are going live sometime next week. It actually even says it comes out November 21st. So they're selling it as some of these as a bundle. Like the Pro is a bundle, which I cannot even begin to imagine how expensive that's going to be.
The bundle does include the vertical stand, so
Okay, so let's do some math here. Okay, so you're gonna get the Pro.
Yeah.
You're gonna get the stand.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a regular controller.
Yeah.
You're gonna get the DualSense Edge.
Yeah.
And you get the charging stand. That's the bundle.
Yeah.
And the other ones are separate. What do you think? How much do you think they're going to charge?
$21,999.
21,000. What do you? You're not even
I don't know.
You're not even trying.
I don't. Yeah, I don't care because I still think the Pro's fucking stupid, and I don't care.
That thing has to be $1,200.
It's probably going to be close to $1,200.
That is a lot. But I mean, these things look so nice. It looks so nice.
Still not worth it. The controller is sick. That honestly, the best part is the cord. Like I love that
the
cord.
That's easily the best part. That thing's
great.
Awesome. I wish they would sell those separately. I would happily pay.
Don't say it. You'll give them ideas. Cable. Don't say it.
I'm just saying, like, it's a USB-C cable, so that thing should be, and I have so many, that thing should be 50 cents, but I would pay $10, I guess, for that.
I guess. Yeah, sure.
That's too much for a USB-C cable.
I mean, you could get that cable and the pins, the paper clip or whatever.
I really don't need a paper clip. I mean, the cable ones are cool too. I don't think I need that. It's just that USB-C cable, man. Like,
it's very good.
Fun one.
Yeah, it's very good.
I think the Portal also looks awesome. I'm surprised they're doing a version for the Portal, but good for them. This is cool. This is a cool setup.
Yeah, it's neat. Neat looking.
All right, the last story. We got a little bit of update on what's going on with the studio behind Concord. The creative director, the head of the studio, has stepped down, and the rest of the developers still don't know what's going to happen.
Fuck, that's awful. Jesus Christ.
So this is Firewalk Studios. The game's been down for 2 weeks about now. Game director Ryan Ellis, he's the one who stepped down. I don't know. I feel like once they took this off shelves, if PlayStation didn't come to them and basically said, like, okay, like, remake it, or like, we're going to launch this in 6 months, blah, blah, blah. I hope these people were updating their resumes and jobs starting to look elsewhere.
I hope they were reaching out to anybody they could to see if there's openings places, for sure. Yeah.
Because this does not sound good for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, anyways, I'm sure that will be a developing story. We'll see what happens. We're out for the Concord team.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some questions. If you want to send questions into the show, topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter or Blue Sky, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box.
Lots of ways to do it.
Lots of ways to do it. Keep feeling like I forgot one, but it's okay. This first one comes in from Jaren, who says, I want to be the first person to ask a question on Blue Sky. So, congratulations. Did some math in my head, and I've been listening to the podcast since 2014, so 10 years. Wow.
Sure.
Thank you. So I thought I'd ask a very serious question. Who's winning the fight? Super Mario with an Uzi or Sonic the Hedgehog with a steak knife?
Can Sonic outrun bullets?
I think he can. I feel like he's definitely done that. Like, even in the movies, he's definitely outrunning, like, missiles, right? Like, because he's, like, surfing on missiles.
And you would have to think those missiles travel at least as fast, if not faster, than bullet, right?
I actually don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, it's weird because Sonic in the movie is basically just the Flash,
Yeah,
he can move so fast that time
that's
stops.
true. You're right. In the movie, time does stop, so you cannot defeat him.
So in the game, like little fucking glowy bullets from like a robot wasp's anus or whatever will like float slowly at you, and you can get hit by it because you're not infinitely just fast, because that would be impossible to play those games.
But isn't that your fault at that point? Like you could get out of the way, but just because of the bad platforming in a Sonic game, you
Sure.
fell onto the laser.
Or they like put it right at the end of a thing where like you can't get out of it unless you do some weird thing. Yeah,
Yeah, bad platforming, just more of that.
just
Yeah, I mean, it's a
bad
Sonic
level
game, sure.
design.
Yep.
Um, I think Mario with an Uzi can kill Sonic, game Sonic, but nothing can actually stop movie Sonic based on the rules they set with him.
Yeah. This is an issue with like the Flash as well, is like the minute
Yeah,
you show that this person can like exist with time stopped,
yeah,
nothing you do after that is like a threat to them unless that other person is equally fast.
yes, right, exactly.
Um, so yeah, no, I think Sonic beats him. Um, like I mean, Super Mario, he can take 2 hits before he dies. I guess so can Sonic. He would get hit once, lose all his coins,
Yep,
then he gets hit again and he's dead. But
yep,
I think Sonic wins, which is
yeah,
unfortunate.
yeah, probably.
But I mean, I guess the on the other side, Mario has way better video games, so I guess Sonic has to get something.
Yeah, who truly wins here? Who truly
That's
wins?
true.
Yeah,
Like you kill Mario, he becomes a martyr.
yeah.
You kill Sonic, no one cares. We're happy. We are happier.
I mean, there was a whole video game based around it, the death of Sonic the Hedgehog.
The best Sonic game, yeah.
Sure. Jacko304 writes, has there ever been any game you are fond of that you would sooner recommend someone just watch a video of or not bother picking it up? Inversely, what's a game you couldn't recommend more despite its flaws? Game I'm fond of that I would recommend somebody just watch a video of.
Yeah, so you like the game, but you're saying it's really not worth playing. Just watch a video.
I mean, I could make that argument with most visual novels. If you just want the story, you could just watch someone play it. But like,
True. I mean, yeah, it is basically the same physical
yeah,
interaction.
there is something about like you making those choices that gets you a little closer to those characters and stuff. But overall, it's pretty much
I
the
think it comes
same.
down to like people who like when they're reading a book, it's like, does
Yeah,
turning the page mean something to you?
sure. Yeah, recommend someone just watch a video of. Um,
I feel like I have had a bunch of answers for the second one, but nothing's coming to mind. What am I thinking of?
what about for the second one? A game you couldn't recommend more
That's what I'm
despite
trying to
its
think
flaws.
of. Like I feel like
Oh,
I routinely say it's not a great game, but it's like a cool game. But nothing's coming to mind at the moment.
hmm, sure. Despite its flaws, huh? Man,
Yep, I'm just blanking.
yeah, it's rough.
All right, DGC Kenny. I had said that no matter what you think of Flappy Bird, the fact that it's not behind closed doors anymore is good from a game preservation standpoint, and I got a confused reaction on that post when I made that point. But there are some notable edge cases that can be put into question. For starters, there's the lawsuit that ordered every unsold copy of Two Human and X-Men Destiny because it was using stolen code. I think, does he mean like destroyed? Returned? Anyway. Um, or how the Guy game, where a girl said she was over 18 and she was not. Do games like these deserve to be preserved? Not celebrated, not sold, but preserved. If only because they exist and that existence shouldn't be erased.
I mean, I think everything should be preserved, so I'm a bad person to ask about that. I don't think there's morality in preserving the past.
The Guy game one is questionable because we are talking about underaged women here.
Yeah.
And I don't think that should be preserved. This is like, this is just like the porn question of like, I can't describe it, but I know it when I see it. I feel like
Yeah.
this would be a slippery slope. It would be abused if someone put something illegal into a video game and it was like, oh, it's too bad. I hit the process code button. It has to survive forever now. I
Yeah.
do not think that is okay.
Fair. I disagree. I think everything should be preserved. That effort was put into, even if it's gross and weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just don't think there are gross things that I do not think should exist.
Sure, and I disagree. I think everything should.
Okay. All right.
Rasterman7 writes, what games do you think are Kino? For context, the term Kino is used in some communities, from my understanding, he knows what he's talking about, as a slang for peak cinema, and some people apply it not only to movies, but pretty much anything. I'm not sure if it came from the word in German, Russian, or somewhere else. Have you heard Kino?
I've never heard of Kino. I'm gonna look it up and see what they.
Slang for peak cinema. I mean, in that case, the most Kino is Asura's Wrath. That's Kino. Uh-oh.
Of course.
By your facial expression, I don't know.
That's a good answer for that other one. That's a great one. You should just watch.
You
don't
could just
need to
watch
play
that
it
one.
because all the like combat is annoying and boring, and you could skip that part.
Sure. Yeah.
I just looked up Kino and just like a bunch of shit came up. What if I look up Kino cinema?
Okay.
That is a cinema in Melbourne. Okay, this is not help. I'm not okay.
If anybody in chat knows the actual definition of Kino, please.
I'm not finding this, but anyways, let's just, for benefit of the doubt, let's just say that's what this means. So, what game? So, are we just saying what are peak games? What are the
that's the thing.
Is
like, if Kino is peak cinema, does it have to have cinematic qualities, or is that just like, are we just saying some of the best games?
It's pretty much anything, and I would have to imagine it would just be peak insert word here because not everything will have a cinematic quality.
Yeah, sure. What games are peak Kino?
I'm not finding anyone using this term.
Yeah, I haven't heard this term either.
Okay, here we go. I found one on slang.net.
Okay, here we go.
I guess it's from 4chan.
Okay.
Kinology. Man with a movie camera, a 1929 film.
What? Okay. That doesn't help at all.
I wanted like a list. Like, what are they saying are the Kino movies?
It's a dumb meme that is used ironically and unironically. That doesn't help either.
Okay. All right. Peak games. Ocarina of Time. Tetris. Like, is this just what are the best games of all time?
It has to mean something else. The problem is that neither one of us know what Kino is. Somebody in chat use it in the way that kids use it. Like, what's the context here? Say something is Kino.
I'm assuming,
it's hard to describe.
Okay, I don't know. Suku writes, you find yourself in a room with 1,000 random people. There looks to be no correlation to who and why. You can only leave the room if you can beat every single person at one thing. What do you choose?
1,000, no correlation who or why. Beat every single person at one thing. Every single person. Okay.
I don't think there's anything that I am so confident I'm the best at that I would be able to do it.
Like it's
even
1,000
things I'm good
people.
at, I know I just already know I'm not the best. Like I know other people who are better.
I know the answer. It's play Spider-Man on the SNES. Because as far as I know, only me and one other person can beat it, like, quickly.
Okay, but there's a chance that person could be in the room.
There's a chance, but it's unlikely because I know him. There's only two of us. I think
Yeah.
I think I could give that game to 1,000 random people, and I think 800 people wouldn't pass the first level.
Okay.
And yes, he's right in chat right there.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything like.
Yeah, I mean, 1,000 random people and you have to beat every single one of them. That's rough. That's hard.
Yeah. I don't. Nope. Nope. I think I would lose.
What about spicy foods? You're pretty good
No,
with spice.
absolutely not. No, that's what I'm saying. Is even things because I can't do super spice. Like I have friends that do way spicier stuff than I can
Mm,
handle. So that's what I'm saying. Is like even things that like I'm good at. I think of like my hobbies. I think of stuff that I do often. My work.
yeah,
I know people who are better at them. Like I might be good, but I already know people who are better. So
right. Phantom Aegis writes, Ahoy TDP crew, are there any R-rated films you think are great for the whole family? I ask this as I find Terminator 2 to be one that fits into this. Despite all that gore and even some explicit scenes, the T-800 and John Connor's relationship was one that hit hard for many parents and children, myself included. They also marketed toys, if I recall.
first one that came to my mind was Matrix.
Is that rated R? Yeah, that's a good answer.
I believe so. I know the second one for sure is.
That's a bad answer because that's a bad movie. But the first one,
First one is R. I think that's a pretty good one. I
that's a
don't.
good one.
There's like there's nothing really even like that sexual in it. I don't even think there's that much blood. I don't know why that movie's R rated.
Is it guns? Just gun use, probably,
I mean,
right?
there's a lot of
A
guns,
lot
but
of
like you don't.
guns.
I don't think you see like blood splurts or anything, right?
Yeah.
I just looked up like R-rated movies for like family-friendly R-rated movies and found a Reddit post. The second one is Terminator 2. They also mention Alien and Everything Everywhere All at Once if you skip the dildo fighting scene. I don't even think that's that bad.
It's not. It's not at all.
This is Predator. Someone says Hot Fuzz. That would be a good one.
Yeah,
That's
that's
probably
good.
just language at that point, right?
This might be boring for kids, but Shawshank Redemption's a fantastic movie.
It would definitely be boring for kids. Yeah.
Yeah. What else do
Shaun of
we
the
have?
Dead is R-rated? Okay, it must just be Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is R-rated? Are you serious?
Yeah, that's weird.
Like that's like I thought that was like a kid's movie.
Yeah.
It is not easy to look up like the ratings because when you put rating, they just put oh yeah, rated R. It's crazy.
That's weird. I think I'm looking through a similar thing. Are you looking through? Was it a Reddit post that
Yeah.
dug up? Yeah, I'm looking through it too.
All right, Dead writes Gabriel Eni poofs next to you on a bench, expecting you to be in a bad mood due to his presence, but he notices your sad Keanuing even before you notice him. Why are you so glum? He asks. You answer bleakly, I need to stay disappointed about upcoming video game releases until they come out to have any chance of enjoying them. He knows
Okay.
the perfect solution.
Hmm.
With a snap of his fingers, he decrees that you now have to be excited for a game in order for it to have a chance of being good.
Okay.
The rules also state that if you're excited for 10 games in a row that you play, your most anticipated game of the year is guaranteed to be in your top 5. And if you're disappointed for 25 games in a row, everything goes back to normal. What's your game plan with this new blessing slash excuse me curse?
Nothing changes for me, honestly. I wouldn't say I'm disappointed by 25 games like in a year because I usually pick things that I think are going to be at least competent. I honestly don't
Okay, well
think I
I
change.
think I think we're supposed to try to go into this to try and game the system, right? Like we want to get the first out or we want to escape. We want to either get the first outcome because then you get like a really good game
Hmm?
or you escape the whole thing. So You either have to be, but in order to get the good ones, you have to be disappointed for them. If you want to escape, you have to make sure that you're disappointed the whole time.
Oh, that's easy because I play games through Steam. I just buy all of the other stuff that isn't the stuff that I'm wanting to play because there's a lot of shit on that service.
So, but hang on. So, to get 25 disappointed games in a row, if you're disappointed going into it, it's going to be good, right? Isn't that part of the curse?
If you're disappointed
Oh no,
going
you have
into
to be excited for it to have a chance of being good. Okay, so if you go into it disappointed, it's going to stay disappointed.
right.
So if you find 25 games that you know you'll and you're disappointed in them, you're free. I think that's the way you go, and you just
I
get out
could
of this
probably do
absolute
that.
nonsense thing.
I could probably do that. Yeah, find games that
Yeah.
I'm going to be disappointed in.
And I mean, like, even if you screw up, like maybe let's say game 17 you actually end up liking, and it's like, oh crap, I gotta start over.
Just do it
There's
again.
so many games.
Yeah.
And there are so many games out there, and there's even more bad ones.
Yes, true. I have an itch.io account. They're there. Sure. Matthew writes, the mercenaries from Team Fortress 2 somehow end up in the world of Elden Ring. Who do you think is likely to survive? If you argue that their survival will be based on weapons they have in their home game, assume ammunition is functionally equivalent to FP, and anything that restores FP or cerulean tier flasks is the same as picking up ammo. Sure, that's fair.
Okay.
For people who don't speak Elden Ring, ammo is mana in this world.
Yeah, the FP is your mana. Yeah. Okay, so who do we got? We got the heavy.
Yep.
We got Scout.
Yep.
Who's the flamethrower guy?
Pyro.
We got the doctor, mechanic or engineer.
Mm-hmm. Is
that it?
The sniper.
Oh yeah, which I obviously do not play much of. Okay, I don't think the sniper is going to do very well.
Yeah, probably not.
Oh, also the Demolition Man. That might be a good one. He was kind of an all-arounder.
Yeah.
I don't think the doctor would do very well.
I think medic is bad.
Supporting anyone.
Yeah.
Like if you're playing co-op, one of you plays the doctor, then that's awesome.
Yep.
Okay, who are you thinking does the best?
So
I don't think the engineer is doing very well, because even if he can build the turret,
they just get
Elden
destroyed.
Ring bosses are so agile, they'll just destroy it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's probably not doing very well. Pyro's probably not doing great, but is okay. I think a standard soldier is probably your 5 out of 10, right? Like middle of the road.
Is there a standard soldier?
Yeah. He's the dude that you usually rocket jump with.
Isn't that's not the demolition guy?
No, demolition guy has a grenade launcher, if I remember.
Oh, okay. It's been a long time since I've played Team Fortress 2. Oh, they asked about the spy. I totally even forgot about the spy.
Spy survival rating. I don't know, maybe like a 2 out of 10 or something, depending how good you are.
I'm just wondering, like, what would the spy do in a boss fight? Like, it's a one-on-one boss fight where it's like
shank and run around, trying to shank.
Because you can't turn into one. Wait, does the spy disguise himself as an enemy, or does he go invisible?
He disguises himself as an enemy.
Okay, so if it's a one-on-one fight, what are you gonna like? If the boss sees anyone in that room, it's like you're obviously the spy.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I don't think medic does well. I don't think spy does well. I think sniper has more of a chance, maybe 4 out of 10 or something, like than the spy and whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, to your point, I think heavy, demo man, soldier, and those are probably the ones you would want to be.
What do you think about scout?
No, I don't think scout would do very well, because I don't think he would do as much damage as one of the others.
Scout has the shotgun, doesn't he?
Yeah. If you're good at dodging, I'm sure.
Well, you'd have to. That's at that point you are playing a like death by 1,000 cuts. It's fast character, so lots of dodging.
Yeah. Just shooting all the time. Would you run out of ammo quick with that thing though? Because like how much ammo would it use? Maybe it does actually a lot of damage, but it just uses up your
I'd have to
FP real
assume the
quick.
shotgun does a lot of damage because you could say to all of them they're going to run out of ammo. So, but the
Yeah.
shotgun you should require less bullets, right? Because it does more damage.
Yeah, like you get in there and shoot a
But I
bunch
mean,
of
in this
times.
scenario, like this is the equivalent of everyone's a like a mage, right? Because we're
Yeah.
all relying on the FP, so you're gonna have to spec out your character
Yeah.
accordingly, and you're gonna have to bring enough like rejuvenation
Yeah.
items.
Sure.
You know, on the other side, you know, you could say it's the equivalent of stamina, and then they get it back. But I think it's just the same thing. Is you're gonna have to just spec out for this class.
Yeah. It's an
Okay, you
odd
gotta pick one. Who are you picking?
who am I picking? I'd probably just go with the soldier. Just standard middle of the road.
Okay, yeah, I feel like I would probably do that too. That's how I kind of played. Elden Ring was a pretty kind of middle of the road. A little bit of magic, mostly sword.
Yeah.
I could also see the demo being interesting.
Yep.
I don't like slow characters, so I wouldn't do the heavy.
Sure.
I feel like if you're playing heavy, I don't even know how this would work, but you need to be good at parrying. And
Yeah.
you know he has the slow, like the heavy roll, right?
Yeah. For
Yeah,
sure.
which I'm not okay with that.
High defense, slow movement. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Different Matthew writes, as you might remember, I'm the person who emails in occasionally as they play through every Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy game in release order over the past 3
I do
years.
remember. Yeah.
As of recently, I've beaten Final Fantasy 12 and Dragon Quest 9, and I'm currently playing Dragon Quest 11. Wait, what happened to Dragon Quest 10? Is that not a thing?
I don't know.
Um,
Oh, it's the
let's do it.
MMO.
I guess that just doesn't count. Is it gone or something? Maybe.
I don't know. Let me. Oh, it's
Can you
Japan
still play
only.
Dragon Quest 10?
No, it's only Japan only.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Anyway, however, Final Fantasy 13 came out for the PS3 between Dragon Quest 9 and 11. Though I've had to skip it as there has not been a re-release of that game for PS4 or PS5 or Switch,
Mm.
which are the only consoles I own. I believe 13, yeah, it's on Xbox. I think it was on Game Pass at some point too. Anyway,
Yeah.
so my question, are there any games you wish you would get re-released so it's easier to recommend them to people or to play yourself? This used to be Ghost Trick for me for a while because that was on the DS. Now
Yeah,
it's on
sure.
everything, so that's a good one. Same with 999. That was another just DS game, but they ported that as well.
Yeah. Nintendo are pretty good about double, triple dipping every generation in their old stuff and or putting it out on other stuff. So Nintendo games are usually okay if you have a Nintendo console at some point.
Sure.
So I'm trying to think of
I mean, the big one is Metal Gear 4. That's just stuck on the
yeah.
PS3.
Yep, that's true. That's true. A lot of them are released on a lot of stuff nowadays, so this
Sure, like
question
once
gets
it gets
harder
on
and
Steam,
harder.
you're pretty set. And then Xbox has done so much with their backwards compatibility that if there was like ever an Xbox version, like the Series X and S can probably play it, or it's on the store to get it.
Yeah.
In the chat, I'm seeing Billy Hatcher.
Billy Hatcher, sure. Yep.
I'm just trying to think of like which, because I know a lot of Nintendo Switch Online has a lot of the old stuff that you'd want, but they don't, is there anything like on the GameCube that I loved? Star Fox Assault. I don't know if I'm really recommending it, but I played a lot of that multiplayer.
Mm. Stuff like Kirby's Air Ride. Would love to see a re-release of
Sure.
that.
Yeah. And I always say Kirby Tilt and Tumble, although I think that's on the Switch Online. I think they brought that up. Oh, that's already fine.
Yeah.
They were saying a lot of the Soul Calibur series. Sure. Can you not play? Is there not an easy way to play Soul Calibur 2?
Uh, on modern stuff, I actually don't know. I don't think so.
You can still buy and play Soul Calibur and Soul Calibur 2 on the Xbox Series X.
Really? Interesting. Okay. Good for them. That's awesome.
All right. Yep. Over they're saying Soul Edge and Soul Calibur 3 are two that stick out. So okay.
Sure. Sony's doing better about this slowly, but unfortunately you have to subscribe to their high tier of PS Plus to get a lot of that stuff, which is shitty.
There was that news story this week about PlayStation 6, them looking into a new chip that would help with
Oh,
backwards compatibility. It was like such a small little news story. I
it's for
didn't really pull
Intel
it.
stuff, right? They're looking at Intel
Some
stuff.
or they were not looking at Intel, I thought.
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe
It's
I'm misremembering.
yeah, I don't. I took a glance at it, but I didn't really read into it.
All right, that's
Weird.
going to do it for questions. If you want to send in questions for next week, topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, and Blue Sky, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box are all great ways to send in questions. Paul, what is your game of the week?
Give it to Space Marine 2.
I mean, Dragon Age, but I played that a couple weeks ago, but I couldn't say that. So, honorary shout out to Dragon Age. I played a lot of Astro Bot. I loved Astro Bot. So,
So good.
thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.